And we're back. We are back, guys. I apologize for that mishap. I have an older iMac and it started ringing, doing crazy, all sorts of stuff. I tried to get back on it, but it's not cooperating at this time. So what we did is we pulled out our backup laptop and we're running from our laptop now. So I hope we're able to get back the good, decent crowd that we had earlier. We had a good amount of views, and we're getting some viewers back up. Now, without any further distractions, we need to go by our agendas, what we wanted to talk about. We had started talking about the candidates that are coming out. It's going to be a interesting election, guys. Like I say, get your popcorn. It's going to be a total shit show here in Maverick County elections, just like they are anytime Maverick County has an election, and especially the recent ones. We had an interesting one just 4 years ago when Judge Salcedo got reelected. We had, cartels brought into the place. We had a last minute, drop because somebody was threatened. Again, and I heard this earlier from some friends, and they're absolutely right. Shit show, hashtag shit show. Bring your popcorn. We were talking about Luis Fuentes announcing he is going to register for a campaign to run in Precinct 4. All power to you, Cifuentes. It's real hard after losing, a political campaign and then having to come back to another, wanting to run again. You would think that the people have spoken, but in this, I guess in his head, he felt that, he is one of the. Thanks for joining us again, Julie. He feels that he has, something to offer the county. So we want to go ahead and bring that out. Now, this is the same Mayor Luis Cifuentes where his brother, Antonio Cifuentes, was hired at Maverick County with a generous salary. Now, I'm not saying that the hiring was wrong. What I'm saying is that why did Commissioner's Court go to great lengths to hide who they were hiring as a parks director? Now, if you remember, this hiring came during COVID when parks were completely closed. All parks were closed. And this was during COVID, and the county hired a parks director. Now, can somebody explain to me during the height of COVID when nobody's visiting parks if a good decision would be to hire a parks director? And it was the brother of Luis Cifuentes. And that's what's kind of it's kind of, it opens your eyes. And the thing again is that rather than, being transparent as Commissioner's Court claims to be transparent, there's certain people that they just do not put their names on the agendas and they still hire them. Why do they do that? Are they hiding something? Do they have something to hide? And I want to agree with you, Julie. And the thing is that it's very funny to me. Has anybody heard from Luis Cifuentes in the past since his loss to Rolando Salinas? Has anybody heard from him? No, nothing at all. Ghost. But now an election comes up. He's ready to run an election, and all of a sudden he pops out with some videos saying the community, the community, the community. And us as people, us as residents here in the county of Maverick County, we cannot be fooled by this, because just think, guys, there are certain people that just pop up and during election time, because they're running or they have something to do, or and you only see those people during election time. And why? To me, I think an advocate, somebody that wants to do good for the community, you see them possibly during the election time, of course, but then you see them when there's no election going on, when they're not an elected official. And that's one of the things that a lot of people thought, that election was over with the city, and they thought that, oh, this guy is going to go away, this guy just popped up during elections. And no, here we are still, going on to another election, and we're still around. And that's one of the things I want you guys to just keep in mind. A lot of people are going to start popping up and endorsing candidates. A lot of people out of nowhere, oh, I haven't seen this person in 6 months, I haven't seen that person in 6 months. And then all of a sudden they're going to pop out and they're going to be like, oh, well, I would vote for this person, I'm going to vote for this person, I'm going to vote for that person, I endorse this person, I endorse that person. And it's like, or I'm going to run, it's like, for the better of the community. Real community work, I understand being a politician, but the people who do real work are not just there during election time. They don't pop up and try to talk to us just when they're elected officials. They are out there doing good for the community, whether they are elected officials, whether it's election season or not. Election season's coming up, Maverick County 2022. Get your popcorn, hashtag shit show. It's coming, guys. It's coming. And just watch if all of a sudden you're going to see people coming out and making videos, coming out and endorsing, coming out and saying, I'd vote for this one. I mean, we have, and you guys, I encourage you guys to go check back on certain pages of former politicians that they what happened? They only showed up during certain times, and then they come out and say, I endorse this person, I think this person's good. They make a big old sign, a big old picture, this person endorses this person. And it's only during election time. Where are y'all advocating when it's not election time? What does that tell you guys? People getting paid during election time? That's why they talk? Joe, I got to tell you, like I told Manny, my legal counsel advised me not to speak on the lawsuit. I cannot speak. It's ongoing. I was advised not to speak on that, and I won't. I got to defer to my legal counsel. He did one hell of a job today. So that's all I can say. Let's bring y'all a little bit closer. Why y'all so far away? You gotta show that Texas flag flying. Man, well, first of all, let me explain. Well, first of all, I've already been on the live for a while, but something happened with my computer. It started making weird noises. It blacked out. We had a good watching going on, a good viewing. And now, I mean, I think we're down to about half of what we had. But like I said, as long as, there's 2-3 people willing to listen, hey, I'm willing to talk. And this show was supposed to be about politics, what's going on in politics. And I won't keep it going for that much longer, guys. But I did wanted to bring up the announcement that Luis Fuentes made again. And just notice what's going on, guys, is that these people are trying to become career politicians. I am in heavily favor of term limits for elected positions. Term limits were established at the city of Eagle Pass, and that keeps from certain people dominating, decision making in our community. I mean, it gets to a point where people get at a comfortable state you know, a good example of this is another career politician would be Judge Salcedo. Judge Salcedo has not left the county, was a constable, moved up to commissioner, and then came to judge, and he's running again for judge. He's, by the end, before this election starts, he will have near 12 years as the county judge. 12 years. That's half a lifetime, guys. And what I was trying to explain to you earlier is that, again, 12 years. That's literally your kids from first to graduating, entering the school system and leaving the school system. A lot happens in that. Now you tell me, how can we have the same leader in the same position for that long? You don't think this guy gets comfortable with what he's doing or how he's doing it or in trying to accomplish things? It may not be for the better of the community anymore. Yes, Julie, you're absolutely right. County does not have term limits. I am for term limits at the county level. I think it's something that is needed. Excuse me. I think it's something that it's very needed. It needs to be discussed. It needs to be discussed because we are seeing how what's transpired with the current county judge, and now we're getting into a state where I apologize. I had to go real quick to get my charger in, guys, before this laptop discharges. But we're getting into a state where people are in these positions of power for so long, and there isn't any fresh ideas. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Now, I'm all for having new people in different positions, because that's how change comes. Change does not come by having the same person in the same position. Now, if a person wants to go from one elected position to another elected position, it's something different, but I am I'm an advocate for term limits. There's city term limits, and I believe there should be county term limits, because some of these elected positions, people serve way too long. You're absolutely right, Julie. But right now, what we have is the situation with the majority. Let's call it what it is. Let's be honest. And all you have to do is tune in to one of the Maverick County Facebook page. Tune into a meeting. There's not a meeting that doesn't go by where we see the majority dominate the court. This majority dominates the court. They pass anything they want to, and that is that's upsetting, because literally, if some other commissioner wants to do something, it's not going to get done because the majority holds the votes. And one of the biggest things that came out of the commissioner's court meeting just recently was, we're going to get the bands Duelo and Sonora Diaminta. Excuse my Spanish. I'm not the best Spanish speaker out there. But we have two bands that are going to be here for the 150th anniversary of Maverick County. And this cost, it's not free, guys. They're going to say that they invite the public and it's a free event. It's not a free event. That's what we need to understand. This is not a free event. You guys are paying for it. And $74,000 of taxpayer money. You, the taxpayers, you 26 live viewers that are viewing right now, the 50 that we had in our other live feed, you guys need to understand this is not a free event. This is coming out of your taxpayer money. And the majority voted for this. The two other commissioners that abstained, Commissioner Olga Ramos abstained. And you see the way Judge Salcedo uses his tactics and the way he carries himself, trying to force feed words in people's mouths. Now, I believe Olga Ramos, hats off to Olga Ramos, because she is there and she has been harassed. She has been bullied by Judge Salcedo before, and we have those videos. We've put them up for you on our pages before. We'll share it again right now. If I remember after this feed, we'll share it again, where poor Miss Olga Ramos was verbally attacked by Judge Salcedo during court, right, as soon as the meeting finished. Don't putting her finger in her face like that. Yet she continues to fight for her residents, guys. That's what y'all need to see. Now, the way the voting went was 3 in favor. Again, the notorious majority of Judge David Salcedo, Commissioner Precinct 1, Jerry Morales, Commissioner Precinct 2, Rosy Cantu, voted in favor of $74,000 going to 2 bands that are going to be playing in consecutive days for 2 hours each. Duelo and the other band, right? And the thing is, guys, it's not a free event. Taxpayers, you are paying for that. Whether it hits you directly or not, you are paying for that, okay? Now, you tell me, yes, I am for a celebration for Maverick County being around 150 years. It is a good time. It is a time and a cause for celebration for our county that has been around for 150 years. You know, great. I'm proud of Maverick County because it's been around for 150 years. The thing with that is that in its 150 years, guys, there's still streets that need to be paved. In those 150 years, there's still streets that haven't been paved. 150 years the county has existed, and there's streets out there that haven't been paved. Just think about that, guys. Do you think we should be paying $74,000 for 2 bands? Or do you think that we should be getting that street paved that hasn't been paved in 150 years? Now, another thing would be, what about the sidewalk that many of our children have to walk to a bus stop, and there's no sidewalk. They have to walk on the street. That's a safety risk. There's a lot of sidewalks missing out there in Maverick County. In my opinion, I would rather have those $74,000 go towards sidewalks rather than spending them on a high-cost band. Why not try to hire local bands? Keep the money in Eagle Pass. Circulate the money here. Now, this is taxpayers' money, guys. The thing that I want to explain to you is that the city has had events such as this, and they spend a lot of money on these events. But it does not come at the taxpayer's expense because it comes through the room tax, which room tax funds are exactly what you use that money for events of that type. You get what I'm saying? It does not come from the taxpayer. It comes from the room tax or donations. Now, Commissioner Ruiz made a good point, is that now they're using taxpayer money to bring bands in. So there's a precedent that was set there. And Judge David Salcedo attempts to come and say that this funding is what the county needs. This county bands are more important than fixing that street. Bands are more important then having that sidewalk for our children to go to the bus stop in the mornings and in the afternoons when they get out of school, bans are more important than water connections for residents that haven't had water connections in 150 years. That is something that I just don't understand. And kudos to Miss Olga Ramos, Commissioner Precinct 3, because what she mentioned was that she has projects in her precinct where that 74,000 could get used. Commissioner Ruiz mentioned that the Mother's Day celebration that he puts on annually, except for this past year with COVID, he gets donations. He doesn't go to Commissioner's Court and ask for taxpayer funds to get a band, to get prizes. That does not happen. That is exactly what happened this time for the 150th year anniversary. And Judge David Salcedo, I need to make a note of it, claimed that he had already budgeted this back in July. We're going to request for that record to see if actually he is being honest with the community and saying that was budgeted, because that was never brought up in any of the Commissioner's Court meetings that we have attended, that we hear, that we comment on regularly, because we do try to participate as much as we can in our local government's meetings and try to advocate for our community. Now, more for our people, because just like me, just like you, we are the people of this community. We are the most important things, our children. We are the ones who elect these officials. Now, if they're spending taxpayer money, if they are paying spending taxpayers' money irresponsibly, then that's something that we as residents of Maverick County need to hold them accountable. Like I said, there was other ways that they could have utilized funding. They could have asked bands to show up. I know that there's a lot of bands out there trying to make a name for themselves, barely starting out. Why not ask them? Why not ask local, celebrities or local musicians to donate their service to this great 150-year celebration? Now, you are paying an outside source that does not, you're paying this band. This band doesn't come and spend money here locally. This band doesn't visit our restaurants. This band doesn't visit our retail stores. But if you were to get a local band, pay them to play here, they're going to spend money in our restaurants. They're going to spend money in our hotels. They're going to spend money in our, I guess not the hotels, right? But they're going to spend money in retail shops here locally because the money stays here. And Julie, real quick, brings out Gary Hobbs. I remember my mom playing Gary Hobbs and me having to listen to it. I think I probably know a couple of songs. I don't follow him. I think he's a little bit out of my generation. But yes, he's a very popular, very well-known musician. For instance, that could have been one of the musicians that they approach. Hey, it's 150 years for the Maverick County. This is your community. Can you help us out? Can you perform at a reasonable cost where donations can be picked up? I don't know, like maybe from Shepherd Government Affairs that gets $96,000 from taxpayer funds to do special services. Ask them to make a donation, to have a band, to have some food. I mean, the county taxpayers have paid them $96,000 a year for almost the past 2 or 3 years. So why wouldn't they want to donate back into our community? Besides just showing up during election times for the judge, for Luis C. Fuentes. The proof is all there, guys, in pictures. What's a saying? A picture's worth 1,000 words. All we have to do is open our eyes. the truth is out there, as the old X-Files show used to say, right? Let's see, guys. We also have of course, a lot of people did see a very encouraging showing for Rams English Cantu for county judge. There was, I would say, easily close to 100 people that went. We were there live, and we got a quick interview, and it took a long time to get that interview, guys, because this guy Cantu was thanking everybody. People went up to take pictures with him. Okay. When was the last time people went up to take pictures with Judge Salcedo? Just members of the community. Yeah. He had a strong showing. It was impressive. The steps at the public library in the front, they could not accommodate all the people that went up to support the candidate for county judge Ramsey English Cantu. We have seen that kind of support previously from Judge David Salcedo, Maverick County Judge David Salcedo. But this year he chose to register in a quiet type of way. Of course, we did have special services employee partner Obi Salinas from Shepherd Government Affairs advertised the judge's poll for David Salcedo's reelection. You got to wonder, guys, what is special services? What is special services? I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not sure what special services could entail, but we only see that guy down here, I would say, during election times. Again, we saw him at Luis C. Fuentes' election. We saw him at Eddie Morales' election. We saw him at David Salcedo's re-election just recently. So you just got to kind of ask yourself, what is going on there? What is going on there? Of course, we had Judge David Salcedo that's going to go for a re-election for a county judge. We've been trying to reach him through Facebook Messenger, not too readily, right? We don't want, we know he's a busy county judge and everything, but we're reaching out to him. If anybody speaks with him, please let him know that we are interested in speaking with him, and we appreciate it if he'd get back to us and want to speak with us. Another interesting little tidbit. Of course, everybody knows there was a redistricting that affected, in Maverick County, we had a redistricting of precincts with a minimal increase of population, which is typically unheard of. Now, the redistricting, yes, it does happen. They redistrict every 10 years. Understandable. But there is no reason to redistrict when there isn't that much growth in the county. What you try to do is even it out. Now, you don't do those redistricting unless there was a significant growth within the county. After 10 years, the census showed that we did not have a significant population growth in Maverick County. So the options were you can redistrict, but you don't have to because it was a small population growth. Of course, the majority decided to vote in favor of redistricting that left 2 justice of the peace out of their precincts. Where I'm going with that is that we just recently heard another candidate for Justice of the Peace in Precinct 3, Jorge Rule Olivas, that is going to be running for JP and in Precinct 3. Now, my thing is that how coincidental is it that they left out the JP that, was elected there this past term. And then all of a sudden a new one in place of the old one, because he's not in the district anymore, right? In the precinct, I'm sorry. Now a new guy, Jorge Raul Rule Olivas, pops up. Now, we don't know too much about him, so we can't comment that much. We saw his post and we did a request. Hey, when can we bring you on the Rising Texan podcast? We would love to have him on, of course. And hopefully we can get him on for you guys and ask him some questions about his motives for running, possibly about, what he feels, what he wants to accomplish as the JP. But it has to raise an eyebrow or two as to how funny it was that they redistricted out a certain JP and then boom, pops up a new JP. So, guys, real quick, good evening, everyone. Edgar Juarez, thank you for joining the show. Again, one of our sponsors, Law Offices of Edgar H. Juarez, 830-752-0686, hashtag Justicia con Juarez, hashtag Better Call Edgar. Leroy, thank you for joining our show. We appreciate it. Again, we did have a larger viewership earlier. We had a unfortunate incident happen to our other computer. So right now we are actually on our backup on the laptop because we couldn't get, I don't know what happened to this other computer, but that tend to happen with old technology, right, guys? So, guys, moving along, it's getting interesting in this public, in the elections, right? It's going to get very interesting. We're starting to see candidates come out. Again, Luis Fuentes has come out. Ramsey English Cantu has come out. Current Judge Salcedo. We have Jorge Olivas. We have actually Leroy Uresti, who's going to be running for Precinct 2. JP as well has registered. And it's going to get interesting, guys. This election has already been dubbed as a hashtag shit show. And it's just going to get more interesting as we go along. So again, guys, get out your popcorn. It's you're going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to see things you have seen before. You're going to hear things you haven't heard before. And it's not going to be we just had a announcement just recently, breaking today. We have Azalia Cáceres, guys, just announced that she will be running as tax assessor against, I believe, the current tax assessor Casas. I'm not sure if he has come out and registered or anything like that, but we have Azalia Cáceres, former councilwoman, former commissioner, Azalia Cáceres, educator. Azalia Cáceres has just announced that she will be running for tax assessor collector in this upcoming election. Guys, you heard it first here. So it's going to be interesting this election season, guys. And I ask you, please share this video. Please tell your friends about us. Please tag your friends on our page on this video right now, because we're going to bring you every step of this election, every step of the way. We're going to bring you information. We're going to look into the candidates like no one looks into these candidates, guys. And we're going to go ahead and bring you all that. It's just interesting. Remember, the tax assessor collector abruptly resigned. They brought in Mr. Casas to take over. I'm not sure if he's registered or has signed up for the election, but we do have Azalia Cáceres that is throwing her hat in again, former councilwoman, former commissioner, and she will be running for tax assessor collector. So this election is just getting interesting by the day, guys. Registration should be up, I think, a week or two into December, so there's not that much time. Please follow us. Please share this video, guys. We're gonna bring you more election talk during our podcasts. Our podcast is every Wednesday. Sometimes it's at 8, sometimes it's at 8:30, sometimes it's at 9, like today's. Things come up, so we would have to. Ms. Asalia Cáceres, you have Julie Mateo's support right there. And Edgar Juarez says it's time for a change, honesty, integrity, and that's crazy. An interesting question is why none of these newspapers, Eagle Pass News Leader or the Latino, went to English Cantu announcement. I think that is a very, very valid question. Very, very valid question. Now, as any news media source you want to be or announce, because we did announce when Judge David Salcedo registered, because it's news, and news like that needs to be brought up. And we're a little bit behind. We still have to put out an announcement. We haven't yet about Leroy Oresti that's running for Precinct 2 Justice of the Peace. We haven't put anything on Jorge Olivas that's running for JP Precinct 3. And now we have Luis Fuentes coming out for commissioner of Precinct 4. So guys, again, this election season is going to be very important, not only for your future, but the future of our children. That's no joke. I know as parents, it's very important to take care of our children, and we want what is best for them, of course. And what's best for them is something that's good for them, good for the community in the future. So please follow us for election updates. None of that watered down, paid for advertisement. We don't do that. Of course, as any news media, we do accept advertisements, but just because you advertise with us does not mean we are not going to report on you. And that's just a disclosure from right now. And it's fine if you choose not to announce with us. And okay, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Julie. Yes, you are correct. Rex, the news leader, does work for Judge David Salcedo. He is a county employee. Rex Macbeth is a county employee. He is involved in the news leader. I don't know how involved. I mean, that's a private business. I don't know. But you are correct. He is a county employee. He is involved in some capacity with the Eagle Pass news leader. That you are absolutely correct about that. Jorge Olivas sits on the housing board. Jorge Olivas was appointed to the housing board by none other than Luis E. Cifuentes. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Again, Jorge Olivas is on the housing board right now, currently. He was appointed by Luis E. Cifuentes, and they both just registered or just announced their candidacy, guys. The storylines on this election, it cannot. Oh man, yes, Marta. Guys, I promise you we're going to have a part 2 on our Connect the Dots series. And hopefully by the end of our Connect the Dots series, we will have a nice little web map out. And we'll show you. We'll bring you pictures. We'll bring you the proof. We'll investigate everything for you. All you guys got to do is follow us, like our page, share our page, watch our podcast. We'll have all the information out for you guys. No one escapes us, the good, the bad, the ugly. We try to report with factual as much as I didn't say that, you did, Julie. We bring you as much factual information as we can. And if no other news media does, we will. We will, guys. Again, the good, the bad, the ugly, the truth of what it is, not what others want you to think it is. On a last little note, real quick, guys. Again, I mean, we're letting the community know. Thank you, Marta. Yes, Jorge Olivas sits on the housing board. He was appointed by Luis Cifuentes. Connect the dots. With that note, I will want to tell you some news that we do have. We don't have the complete information. Right now, we are trying to gather the information. Apparently, a couple of years back, there was a counselor at the Eagle Pass High School. We're trying to reach out to the parents to confirm the story. There was a head counselor at an Eagle Pass High School, or one of the high schools, that accepted money from students for SATs, ACTs, prep tests, something to that extent. Fast forward, comes test time, and some of those students did not have the test that they paid this counselor for that. They did not have the test that they paid this counselor directly whenever they went to take their tests when they were supposed to. So apparently this somehow didn't hit Eagle Pass Police Department, because it should have hit Eagle Pass Police Department. But again, we're just getting this information. We're looking into this information of a high school counselor that received money directly from students. And when it came to test time for these test prep that these students gave this high school counselor money for, some of these students, there was tests missing. They didn't receive their tests. Please share this video, because we are trying to reach out to those parents of these students, or we're trying to reach out to these students that did not have their test after they paid this high school counselor for these prep tests. I mean, it's your kid's future. So we're confirming the story. We are going to send a host of public information requests to the school district. We're barely learning how to do that with the school district. And we are going to check up and confirm the story for you guys. Again, headline: high school counselor receives money directly from students for prep test, ACT, SAT. When students showed up, there was some left without a test. We're reaching out to those students. We're following this lead for you guys. Apparently, this counselor, we are looking into it, guys, all right? We can't say anymore. What we want to tell you guys is that, how does Julie know everything, man? Guys, that's all I have for you today. We did a pretty long one because we had our feed knocked down earlier. We brought up so far who is running. We will be looking into them. We will be bringing you a backstory, their history on politics. What is it they do? We invite any of these candidates. We do have Ramsey English Cantu, who's running for county judge. He did promise us an interview, so we're going to hold him to that. Luis Fuentes, we're going to try to get an interview from him. We're going to try to get one from Jorge Olivas. And we're still going to keep on trying to get one from Judge David Salcedo. But guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. I know we had a little heckler a little bit earlier, and I apologize if I was distracted, but we were able to finish our show. So I thank y'all for joining us. Real quick, before we leave, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Again, also, we are in litigation. We do have a lawsuit. So we ask if anybody wants to contribute. We do have a GoFundMe page. We do have a Cash App. Please help us out. We're trying to pay our attorney that did one hell of a job today. So help us out if you can. Our sponsors, ticking below: Rodriguez Consulting and Services, 830-971-4068. You need help with businesses? Call Rodriguez Consulting Services. Law offices of Edgar H. Juarez, 830-752-0686. Viva Canine Dog Training, Grooming, and Boarding Center, 830-513-3523. Wagon Wheel, Smokehouse and Saloon, 830-513-7250. Again, our Cash App, the Rising Tech, $, the Rising Texan Media. Guys, if you can support us directly, please do so. Thank you, Marta. Good night, Julie. Please do so if you can support us directly by contributing to our GoFundMe page for our attorney fees. If you can contribute to our Cash App for our attorney fees, we appreciate that as well. If you cannot for whatever reason, please go out and support our sponsors, guys. These sponsors have been very generous with us. They have been here for some of them since the very beginning of our podcasts, and we really appreciative of their support. So guys, please, again, go out and support our sponsors. If you can't support us directly, get into their stores, use their services. Rodriguez Consulting and Business Services. If you're opening up a business, consult with them, 830-971-4068. Law offices of Edgar Juarez, Justicia con Juarez, 830-752-0686. Viva Canine Dog Training, Grooming, and Boarding Center. Your furry little friend deserves it, guys. 830-513-3523. Wagon Wheel, Smokehouse and Saloon. Guys, they're going to be having smoked turkey plates tomorrow, 830-513-7250. Give them a call. Ask for the smoked turkey. Tell them the Rising Texan sent you for a free drink. We appreciate you guys. Y'all have a beautiful night. Again, share our video. And please ring that little bell. So whenever we do have a live, you are able to tap into it. It shows up in your screen right away. We have more interesting political information that's going to be coming out in our show. So again, grab your popcorn. Maverick County elections are coming up. Hashtag it's going to be a shit show. Isaak Ruiz from the Rising Texan, TRT News. Thank you for joining us.